Nina Turner was on the news, and she was being asked about James Carville's just wild attacks against Bernie Sanders and his movement and his supporters and what it would mean if he were the nominee. And here's a bit of Nina Turner responding to those attacks.
James Carville made the argument over the weekend that Senator Sanders isn't a Democrat, he's an ideologue, and we've got to get practical. If he is the candidate, he is not going to be able to help win over the Senate.
Does practical mean that the 89 or so million people who are uninsured or underinsured in this country continue to suffer? Does being practical mean that we don't take steps in this country to deal with climate chaos and bring world leaders to bear? Does being practical mean that we continue to prop up a legal system that is unjust in every stretch of the imagination, that bears its weight down on black men and black women, and then by extension, if you are Hispanic or indigenous or poor? Does being practical mean that we don't say to the American people that you deserve better than what you are getting? That's not the kind of practicality we want. Does practical mean that you hold fundraisers and wine caves with Swarovski crystals with billionaires who want to control this system? Does practical mean we continue to go with the status quo while 500,000 people sleep on the streets at night? That's not practicality. So with all due respect to Mr. Carville, what the American people in this country need, they need somebody that is unabashed and that has the courage and the conviction to stand up for them and to call out the rigging of this system.
I mean, it doesn't get much stronger than that.
So good. I mean, and this I think speaks to the heart of what is so horrible about the attacks on Bernie Sanders for being a democratic socialist, which is that it completely bypasses reality. That Nina Turner just mentioned, I think, 7 different issues, everything from homelessness to incarceration to climate change to healthcare in one long breath. And that was more coverage than most news outlets do in an entire day. So this is someone who's actually in touch with reality. It's someone who's in touch with real people struggling. And she's bringing that and saying, yeah, it's not that radical if you look at where people are at. It's not that radical if you look at where Trump has taken us, which was already bad, 3 more years down this hellhole, right? And so even just to get back to quote unquote normalcy will require a radical agenda, but moving forward is gonna require some actual vision and some plans. So hats off to Nina in that.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we want an ideologue. When a candidate's running, they're supposed to promise you the moon. They're supposed to aim high. I don't think a candidate's supposed to, I'm gonna go right about here, right? You know what I mean? You're gonna make promises, and then when you get in office, you do the best. Hopefully, you would do the best you can to make these things happen. So, this is the thing with the hatred toward Bernie. I think like if you're Carville, this statement gets you in the news. You know what I mean? Like that's part of his job.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I'm underestimating this. But I don't think the Democrats who haven't decided yet, let's call them Democrats or whatever, I don't think they don't automatically hate Bernie. And the stuff Bernie is talking about is what people need and what people want. So people are gonna listen to it. So I think in this situation, you're giving too much credit to James Carville. That honestly, I think you're giving too much credit to what, remember,
just said that.
He's a talking head. That's his job. And if you're a talking head and you can't stir up enough controversy that somebody's mentioning you, then you're losing your job. You know what I mean? So
we're talking hearts here.
Yeah.
We're not talking heads. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm done.
It could be both. Yeah, and his head is in now, but his perspective is maybe early 2000s at best, maybe the 90s. And I know that like what Nina Turner talked about there, and the way that they attacked Bernie at the debate, where like the first 10 questions are, hey, all of you attack democratic socialism. Isn't it crazy? Aren't we gonna lose if we got that? Look, the term democratic socialism is new to a lot of people. The philosophy, the ideology is not. There's easily 100 million democratic socialists in this country. They just don't know it yet. But they have been craving a candidate that expresses those values, who champions that platform for a long, long time. And it is just amazing, the media figures, they just don't get it. So they have someone like Nina Turner and they don't know how to respond.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that All you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.